Okay, so first of all I'm going to press Windows R and then CMD, and then I want to move towards desktop. So what should I do? What's the command for moving from one folder to another?
We can't see the other screen. Yeah, I don't think you're sharing your screen.
Okay, wait. Sorry about that. Okay, is it visible now?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so what was the command for moving from one folder to another folder? Like currently I'm in HP folder, I want to move towards the desktop folder. ZD, good. CD and then D. And here I want to make a folder. So what's the command for making a folder? What was the command for making the folder? Yeah, mkdir, good. Okay, so today we are going to start a new topic, and I guess up until this point you guys now know how to create websites. Like if I were to give you a website, would you be able to create that website like fully responsive? Okay, great, because I'm gonna give you a website. Okay, so today we are going to be doing something that is kind of boring at the start, but again that is one of the core pillars of the website. In fact, not just websites. If you were to learn this technology, you would know about website development, you would know about mobile development, you would know about desktop development. Like you would know a lot of things if you get what we are going to study today from now on. In fact, so today's topic is going to be JavaScript. Okay, up until this point we have learned how we can structure a website, how we can make how we can design a website, like the colors and the alignment and the grids and columns and everything like that. Plus we have learned how we can make our websites responsive according to every screen size, the mobile phones, the laptops, the big screens, the TVs, and etc, everything like that. Today's topic is gonna cover the functionality of our website. Okay, first let me tell you what I mean, and then we can start with the with the actual thing. Okay, for example, let's take this example. If I were to click on this plus icon, what would happen? Like this icon, this one at the top. Can you see my cursor?
Will it add another screen?
Exactly, it's going to add another screen. So how is this achieved? For example, this Google is written by HTML, it's an image. Just like this input bar, this is also an image. All of these are images, so all of these are structured with HTML and CSS. But this thing, what you see here is when I click on this plus icon, a new tabs open up. This is a functionality. Now these kind of things are achieved with JavaScript. Okay, for example, if I were to click on this, what's going to happen? It's going to open another a model, something like a model. If I were to click on it again, it's going to vanish. How is this achieved? Again with JavaScript. If I were to click on this, it's going to make me go another tab. Obviously it's HTML, it's not JS. But if I were to click on this question mark, or maybe let's say this one, is going to open this model. If I were to click on this, it's going to open this model. If I were to click on this cross, it's going to close it. So everything like this, like everything that involves functionality of the website, it'll be achieved by is responsible for the functionality of our website. Like the best part of our website is achieved by JavaScript. Okay, so does that make any sense? What JavaScript is going to do for us? What does HTML do? What does HTML do to our websites? Like, does HTML do anything? Like, what does it do? Yeah, I am saying. Wait. Okay, again my mic's messing up. I was saying something. Okay, so I was talking about.
It was actually like your entire screen froze.
I don't know what's happening. I think my mic's now unmuted. The screen is being shared. Okay, anyways. So I was asking, what does HTML do to our website? It provides what?
It gives you structure.
Exactly. What about CSS?
It styles it.
Exactly. So what about JavaScript? JavaScript does what?
Functionality.
Exactly. Functionality like this. If I were to click on this minus icon, what's going to happen? It's going to minimize it. If I were to click on this, it's gonna open up another model. So everything like this, the functionality part, it's achieved by JavaScript. Okay. So any questions what JavaScript does to a website?
No.
Okay, great. Okay, if my mic gets unmuted, you guys have to tell me, because
Yeah, we were telling you, but I don't know if you can hear us.
no, I wasn't able to hear you. Okay. Anyway, so if it's get muted, so please tell me. Okay. So I'm gonna create a new folder here. I'll say nickdir and I'll name it JS, standing for JavaScript. Okay. Say JS and I'll say day
It's
one.
muted again.
Wait, let me do something about this. Okay, hopefully it doesn't get muted now. Okay, so I'm gonna create a folder with the name of JS day one. Then I'm gonna cd into it, and I'll open it with VS Code. And okay, for around day one and day two, it's gonna be a little boring because you wouldn't be able to see anything on the web page. Everything's gonna be on the left side of the page. I'm gonna show you where, but it's gonna be a little boring because we are going to study the fundamentals of any programming language. Okay, but again, these fundamentals are really important. Okay, I don't have to open it with this one. I have to open it with VS Code. Okay, so let me open this code. I'm gonna do it the old-fashioned way. And it's named as JSD1. Okay, so inside this we are going to create a file with the name of index.html. Okay, still gonna be HTML. Okay, then I'm gonna generate the boilerplate. Okay, in the start I'll just go with h1. Okay, it's acting up. h1. Let me do it manually. I'll say, let's say, salam world, or whatever you want to write. Save it, and then we'll open it with live server. Okay, great. Okay, so if I were to style my website, which tag did I use? What was the tag we used to do when we used to style our website? Style, yeah, in the head part. Okay, so in the head part we can use style for styling the website. Okay, when you want to implement JavaScript in your website, okay, when you want to do JavaScript in your website, what you need to do is you have to move in the body part. Okay, you have to get in the body part, but you have to get outside of every HTML, like after every HTML, like in the end of the body tag. Okay, like in the end. Okay, and you have to write the tag called script tag. Okay, when you say script, so basically this is your JavaScript. Anything you write inside these tags is going to be considered JavaScript. Just like if we were to add style tag here, everything inside these tags is going to be CSS. Just like that, everything inside these script tags is going to be JavaScript. Okay, any questions about this tag?
Wait, so that tag is to add JavaScript to our website?
Yes, exactly like that. Just by
We
writing,
have to write script?
yeah, you have to write script, but make sure you're writing it after every HTML, like in the end. Okay, after
Meaning like
each,
just before the
Exactly, good, just before the closing tag. Okay, so everything inside the script tag is going to be JavaScript. Okay, so any problem with this? Okay, great. Okay, again I'm gonna say at the starting it's gonna be a little boring, but again you have to know about these fundamentals of the programming language. In fact, the real programming language starts today. Okay, everything we've been studying before it, they were the designing languages. Okay, now comes the real coding, the real programming language. Okay, so how are you going to see the output of JavaScript? First of all, you're gonna go into your web page, and then you were to right click on this, and then you have to inspect it. Okay, it's not new, we have seen this before, but now you're not going to go inside the elements tab, you have to go towards the console. Now this is going to be your best friend when you're doing front end plus back end. This is going to be your best friend for JavaScript. So you have to click on this console. Now you're going to see a lot of things here. Okay, so there are two important things you need to know. One is this error. Okay, so this tab is going to show you the error, and this is the other tab we need to know. This is the info tab, that is everything we want to see, we want to output, is going to be inside this tab. Make sure this tab is selected in the beginning. Okay, so I'm going to click on this, it's going to remove everything, it's going to reset this console. Okay, so every output of JavaScript mostly is going to be seen here, although everything we're going to do with JavaScript is going to be shown here, but in order to see the output, in order to see what you're doing, you have to go inside the console. Okay, console has two main parts. One is the errors, it's going to show you the error if you have any, and then we have the info tab, it's going to show you the output of your JavaScript. Okay, so two important tabs. So how we're going to open the console? What's just right click, inspect, and then console. Yeah, so what were the two main tabs? The error, yeah, good. So the errors are going to show you the errors of JavaScript, and the info is going to show you the information about the JavaScript. Okay, so these are the basic configurations. Okay, now let's do some coding, like actual coding. Okay, so whenever you learn a programming language, real programming language, so the first thing you do is you learn how that language, specific language, outputs something, like how that language shows you something. So in JavaScript we have something called console, and you guys have seen it just now. So basically whenever we say console, it's going to target this. Okay, so we're going to say console, and then we're going to say dot log. So logging would refer to this tab. Okay, this info tab. If I were to say console dot error, which tab is going to this refer to? Error tab. Okay, so what do we want to do right now? Is it the error or is it the info? Info. So what should we say? Console dot log. Good. So basically console log is a function, and whenever I say something is a function, you have to put parentheses around it. Okay, you have to put parentheses around it. Whenever something is a function, make sure there are parentheses after it. Okay, so inside these parentheses you can write whatever you want, but again there is a proper way to write something. If you want to write a paragraph or a character, you have to put strings. Okay, quotations. Basically in programming it's called a string. So what is a string generally? What does a string refers to? A general meaning of string. What is a string? Yeah, string. S-T-R-I-N-G. String. Like this. Wait. This. String. Yeah. So what is a string? It's a string. Yeah. So basically, strings is what? How do we explain a string? A string is a string. Okay. So basically, a string in programming language would refers to a list of characters. Okay, so whenever you see whenever you hear someone say string and it refers to the context of programming, it refers to the list of characters. Okay, so whenever you want to write a string, you have to put quotations. Okay, you can use double quotations, you can use single quotation, whatever you want. Okay, so what we want to do right now is I'm going to say salam and then word. So what's gonna happen right now is you don't have to put semicolons. Okay, it's not mandatory. Okay, save it. Okay, so this is gonna print this thing inside here. Okay, so whenever you want to see something in JavaScript, what you have to do is you have to write console.log, and it's gonna log whatever you write here inside here. Okay, so whenever you want to write a string, and what is a string? What is a string?
A group of characters?
Exactly, a list of characters. Okay, so you have to use single quotations or double quotations, but double quotations are preferred. Okay, now this is the data type. Okay, we are the topic we are studying today right now is data types, like the type of data. So this is a string data type. Okay, a list of characters. Okay, what is this? What is this? How do we categorize this? Like this is a string. Good, it's a character. Okay, we can call it a string, but technically it would be not right, because string is a list of characters, whereas it's a single character. So basically,
Question.
yeah,
So, so when you write A, this just shows like A in the browser.
yeah, it's just gonna show A in the browser.
So
Yeah, in the console. Okay, just like this. Okay, I'm gonna.
that A would be the string, right?
Yeah, we can call it a string, but it's a single character. So in a better way to put it is going to be it's a character. Okay.
Okay. Oh, okay. Because it's one letter.
Yeah, exactly. It's one letter. So if we have two or more letters, then it's gonna be a string. Okay.
Oh, I got it.
Okay. Okay. Similarly, we can do this console.log, and if you were to write, let's say 5 or 6, what is this 6? Is it a number or a character or a string?
Number.
Think again.
It's a character.
It's a character. Good. Anything inside a quotation mark is a string or a character. You need to, you don't have to forget this one. This is really important. Anything inside a string is a character. Now, how do we confirm it if it's a number or a character? Okay. If I were to do this, what will be the output? Is it gonna be 11? What do you think? Take a guess. What do you think this would output?
11.
Yeah, it should say 11. Any more guesses? So it's gonna be 11.
Yes.
Okay,
It's gonna come out the same.
exactly. It's gonna come out the same. Why is that? Because it's a string, not a number. Strings cannot be added or subtracted or multiplied. Numbers are added and subtracted or multiplied or whatever the calculations are. Okay, so anything you write inside these double quotations is gonna, yeah, okay, it's gonna come out as it is. Okay, this is a really important point, like really important. Okay, if you were to make big websites, for example, we were making an e-commerce website, now you have to do calculations on that website. So you don't have to do this. Okay, it's gonna just type it as it is. Okay, we don't want that. So what if we actually want to perform calculations? What do you think? We're going to say console.log, and without the quotation marks we'll just do this 6 or 5 plus 4. Now they are not inside the quotations, and you can see the visual difference. The color is changed. Okay, this is green whereas this is orange. Similarly with this plus as well, here the plus is treated as a string, so strings are outputted as it is. Here the plus is operated as an operator. Okay, this plus is gonna perform operations on these numbers. So what do you think output of this one would be?
9.
9. This is gonna be 9. So what's the visual difference you see here?
The color.
The color, exactly. So basically the strings are always in the color of white. Okay, it's gonna, yeah, it's gonna have a color of white, whereas anything apart from strings is gonna have a color of this purplish color. Okay, any questions?
No.
Okay, great. Okay, so now we're gonna study something new. Okay, we have a lot of things. Okay, it will be good if you can write it down, or you can just watch the video again. Okay, so what if we need to confirm the type of something? Okay, like I want to see what's the type of this. Is it actually a string or not? Is it actually a number or not? Like I want to confirm the type of something. So there is a built-in function in JavaScript that basically tells us about the type of the data. Okay, so I'm going to remove all of this one as well. Okay, so before this I'm going to write type of. Now this type of is a built-in function. You can tell by the color of this. Okay, it changes its color. If I were to just do this, the color isn't, it doesn't change. Whereas if I were to write off, now it's a built-in keyword, it's a built-in function that does what? It basically tells you the type of anything you write after this. So it's going to tell me the type of what?
Anything you want.
Yeah, 5. So what do you think the answer would be? What do you think the answer?
5.
Uh-huh. We are checking the type of 5. So what's the type of 5? Like, is it a string? Is it a number? Is it a what is it
Number.
exactly? So what would be the output? It's gonna be a number. Okay. So similarly, if you were to do this, what would be the answer?
It would be a string.
Good. It's gonna say a string. Good. So what do you think would happen if I were to do this? Yeah. Now comes the tricky part. What's gonna happen? Is it gonna say number?
Quotation.
Yeah,
It's a string.
it's a string. Good. Anything inside these quotations is a string, no matter what we have written inside it. Okay, it doesn't matter. So it's gonna say a string. Okay. Of the data you want to see. Okay, it's again really
Can't hear
helpful.
you.
What's happening to my mic? I think my mic's getting really. Wait, let me check it out.
We can hear you now.
Okay. Type this function. Okay, so any question about this type
It's
of?
gone again.
Wait, let me check the cable. Okay, give me a minute please. यार ये माइक काम खराब कर रहा है, बार बार उतर रहा है. Okay, where has everyone gone? Like this, Mr. Rohel isn't here, Miss Mariam isn't here.
Jen, let me ask them.
Yeah,
What's
yeah,
the
yeah.
plan?
Okay, so we were talking about type of. So any questions about this type of?
No.
Okay, great. Now let us talk about some more data types. Okay, so we have discussed about numbers. Okay, so numbers is basically categorized into three parts. Okay, one is integers. We have discussed about integers in I guess third or fourth grade maybe. So integers are basically like 1, 2, 3, -1, -2, -3, 0, like anything that is not a decimal point. Okay, so that is an integer. Like this 3 is an integer. Okay, so the moment we put point here, it becomes a floating point number. Okay, so this category of, although it's a number, okay, this is categorized as a number, but if you were to go down the categorization tree, it becomes a floating point number. Okay, it's not mandatory, you just have to know about it. Okay, it's just a number. Okay, so basically 3.5 is a floating point number, or we can call it a floating point decimal. It's called a float. And if we have a big number, big floating point number like this is called a double. Okay, we have three categorization in numbers. One is integer, that is without any decimal point. Second is float, that is a small decimal point number. Third one is called a double, that is a big decimal point number. Okay, so any questions about this one, the float, the double, and integer?
No.
Okay, great. So now comes like a really important part in JavaScript, because this one is like it's not gonna leave you as long as you are doing the development. Okay, so this is called concatenation. Now what is concatenation? Let me write it here as well. It's called concatenation. Okay, or we can call it interpolation, or if you were to go more simple, we can call it joining a string and another data type. Okay, so basically what is concatenation? Concatenation refers to joining a string and another data type together in a single position. Okay, so what is concatenation? Joining a string and another data type. That another data type could be anything. It can be a number, it can be a boolean, it can be an array. We're going to discuss about these things later on. Okay, so at the moment we have discussed about numbers. So basically concatenation would refer to joining a string and a number or any data type together. Okay, so how do we perform concatenation? So we're going to say console.log, and we'll say here hello, and then I want to join number, so I'll just put plus here and I'm going to say 30. So basically what's happening here is this is a string, and this plus is doing what? It's not adding these two together. Okay, so basically this is doing what? It's joining this hello, this string, and this number together in a single position. So this plus is what? It's not treated as an operator, it's treated as a concatenation operator, not a addition operator. Okay, does that make any sense?
Yeah.
This plus is not being treated as an additional operator. Okay, it's treated as a concatenation operator. So what do you think the output would be? Let me give a space here as well. So what would be the output? What do you think the output would be?
It's joining, right?
Yeah, it's joining. So the answer would be?
Would it just be hello 30?
Exactly. It's gonna be hello and 30. Okay, so basically it's joining a string and a number. Okay, so now comes a really fun and confusing part. Okay, it's also one of the questions of interviews. So I'm gonna say 2. So what do you think the answer would be? Hello 2. Yes, so it's gonna be hello 2. So what do you think the answer for this one would be? This is the question of an interview. So what do you think the answer would be? Think, you don't have to, you shouldn't be quiet in an interview.
Hello 4?
Yeah, it should say hello for good. So any more
The quotations are not there.
Yeah, exactly. You're right. Exactly, you're
Could
right.
be hello two too.
That is also one answer. Hello, tutu. Good. Tutu like to like join together, or just like this. How is it gonna be? Like this or
Like
like
that
this?
one?
This one? This one or this one?
Yeah, the other one.
Okay, this one. Okay, that is one answer. So we have hello 4, and then we have hello 2 plus 2. So the answer would be hello 22. So why is that? Why do you think it's happening like that? Like, why is it hello 22? Like, it should say 4. That the logic says that it should be 4, because these are numbers.
Is it because it's string?
No, we haven't
When
we
you
haven't
add the string and a number, well,
basically this is
it
inside the
makes
quotation
sense.
marks. Okay, this is treated as a string. These are not inside the quotation marks, they are treated as a number. So if they are treated as a number, why aren't they adding up? This is the interview question. You have to
Because you
think.
join them.
Yeah, that is an answer, but it's a half answer. So basically,
When you
yeah,
when
yeah.
you add a string and a number,
Okay.
then it joins it
Yeah,
joins them.
you're on the right track. Good. Exactly. The answer is exactly like that. So basically, what's happening here is JavaScript is getting confused. Okay, it's getting confused. How is it getting confused? This plus, we want this plus to be which operator? We want this to be additional operator or a concatenational operator.
Concatenation.
Exactly. And what about this plus? What do we want this plus to be? Additional or concatenational operator?
Additional
Exactly.
as well.
We want this one to be additional, we want this one to be concatenational. So basically what's happening here is JavaScript is getting confused, like it doesn't know which one is what, which one is which. So basically JavaScript is treating both of them as a concatenational operator. It's not treating any of them as an additional operator. But that makes our website like it's error prone. Okay, we have errors like this, so we don't want that. So that's why we never use this operator for concatenation. Okay, we never use this. Okay, so what do we do if we don't use this? We want to join strings and other data types together. So what do? We do something else, and that is gonna be, it's gonna be used again and again and again. So what do you use? You use this console.log, and then instead of quotation marks, okay, these are quotation marks. Instead of quotation marks, you use backticks. Okay, these are called backticks. You can find them under the escape key on your keyboard. If your computers are open in front of you, you can see they are present. Like these are present right beneath the escape key. Okay, these are called. Let me write it here as well. Backticks. We call them template literals, we call them template strings. Okay, don't confuse them with quotation marks. If you want to join string and a number together, you have to use these, and these are called backticks, template literals, or you can call them template strings. All of these names belong to this. Okay, any questions about
Yes.
this? So basically this is like quotations, but it's eligible to join strings and numbers or any data type. So how do we join them? So we write it as it is. So I'm gonna say, let's say hello, and when we want to add a number or a data type, like it's not a string, it's another data type, so we put dollar sign and then curly braces. Okay, if you want to join another data type inside the string, you write string as it is, and when you want to join another data type, you just write dollar and curly braces, and you can do whatever you want here. So I'm going to say 2 plus 2. So what do you think the answer now would be? What do you think the answer would be? Is it going to be? Yeah, good. Now it's going to be hello 4, because this is not treated as a concatenational operator but as an additional operator. Anything outside of this dollar and curly braces is going to be a string. So we have hello 4. So let's make a simple calculator using template literals. So how do we do that? So let's say I'm going to say console.log, and then what do I write here in order to join strings and numbers together? Which sign do I put here? The what?
Concatenation.
Yeah, it's concatenation. And which operator do I put here? Like, what is it called? It's written right above this line.
Backtick.
Backticks. And where do I find the backticks?
Under the S.
Yeah, under the escape key. Yeah, under the escape key you can find the backticks. Okay, so I'm gonna say here, let's say 5 plus, and where's the plus? 5 plus 6 equals to, what would be the output now? I've just written this. So what would be the output? What do you think the output would be?
11 equals
No, just for this one. What do you think the output would be? Is it gonna
5
be?
plus 6.
Yeah, it's gonna be just 5 plus 6 and then equals to, because this is treated as a string. But now we want to perform calculations. So what do I write here? Like, now we want to get outside of the string, outside of the bounds of the string. So when we want to perform calculations, what do we write inside the backticks? Dollar,
$.
good, and then
Curly bracket.
curly brackets, and then whatever we want to do. So I'm going to say 5 plus 6. So answer now would be 5 plus 6 is equal to, is going to be as it is because it's a string, but these one would be calculated because these are inside the dollar and curly braces. So we have 5 plus 6 to be 11. We want to do the same thing for the minus as well. So what do you think we should write? What should we write? Console, good. So we're gonna be good console.log, and then we want to see, like, we want to see, let's say 11 minus 3. So we want to see first that
Backtick.
backticks, good, and then 11
11
minus 3. So this is for the user, like this is for the user to see. Okay, so it's gonna say 11 minus 3 as it is. Here you go. But now we want to perform calculations. So what should we do?
Say $sign.
Dollar sign, and then
Curly bracket.
curly brackets, and then 11 minus 3. That's gonna be as it is. Okay, so let's do the divide sign. So console.log, and then the backticks, and then let's do divide. So I'm gonna say 10. Divide, for the divide sign I'm gonna put slash 2 equals to. Now it's gonna write it as it is. So here you go. And for the dollar sign, dollar, curly braces, and I'm gonna say 10 divided by 2. So what do you think the answer would be for this one? 5, exactly. So what would happen if we do this? What's gonna be the answer? Exactly, good. Good, exactly. It's gonna be 5 because the calculation is still saying 10 divided by 2. So what about the string now? The string is gonna say what? 7 divided by 2, but the answer is still gonna say 5 because the calculations are for 10 divided by 2. Okay, so what about now? What's gonna be the answer now? 7 divided by 2 is?
It's gonna change to 3.5.
3.5. Okay, so what if we want to get the quotient? You guys do know about the quotient and remainder and the stuff we have discussed, which we have never used ever. So let me first do some maths. So basically like this, it's like this. So this is the dividend, this is the divisor, and how much is 2 times 7? So basically 2 times 3 is 6. Okay, so this is called quotient, and this is called the remainder. Okay, so basically this divide sign gives us the quotient. Okay, so what if we want to have the remainder? Okay, what if we want to have the remainder? So in order to get the remainder, there's another sign that is called modulus or mod. Okay, so I'm gonna put template strings here. So I'll write 7, and then I'm gonna mod sign is the percentage sign. 7 mod 2 is equals to dollar curly braces, and I'm gonna say 7 mod 2. So basically this percentage sign in any programming language gives you the remainder of this calculation. So what would be the answer for this one?
The one.
Exactly, it's gonna be 1 because the remainder be 1. Okay, the remainder is gonna be 1. So if you want to have the quotient, you use this sign. If you want to have the remainder, you use this sign. Okay, I'm gonna do something really interesting now, and this. What do you think the answer would be? How much times 2 is 0?
0.
Exactly, so the answer would be 0. But what if I were to flip it? Now it's gonna cause some problems. What do you think the answer would be now? How much times 0 is 2?
Would it be a negative?
Not negative.
It's gonna be infinite.
Exactly, good. It's gonna be infinity. Okay, infinity is also a number. Okay, so basically we don't know how much times 0 is 2. In fact, 0 is never 2. So basically it's gonna give you the infinity. Okay, so JavaScript handles it really gracefully. Okay, so last we have the multiplication. So we're gonna say console.log and template strings or backticks, and we're gonna say 2 x through 5 is equals to. So what do you think the output would be? What would be the output?
Over 2 times 5.
Exactly, it's going to just be 2 times 5. So now we want to perform the actual calculations. So what should we do?
Dollar sign.
Dollar sign, good, curly brackets, and where's the dollar sign? Dollar sign, curly brackets, 2 times. Oh, what if we write 5 times 2? Is it gonna have some effect? No, exactly. It's still gonna be 10. Okay, what if we want to have the square of something? Like, what's the square of 2?
4.
4. So basically, how do we get the square of something? We do double x. Okay, double multiplication. So dollar curly braces. So we want to do the square. So dollar curly braces 2 and double stars asterisks 2. So basically, it's going to be 2 power 2. So what would be the answer? 4. So what if we do this? 2 times 5. So how do we counter the 5? We'll just multiply it with 5. So what's 2 power to 5? 2 to 4, 4 to 8, 8 to 16, 16 to 32. So basically it's going to give us what? 32. Okay, so this is how you basically take the square of something. Any question with these operators? Any problem?
No.
Okay, should we move forward now?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Let me put some comment here. I don't know why my comment isn't working. So I'm gonna do the multi-line comment here. I'll tell you about this later on. Okay, so the next topic is the variables. Okay, so the variables are really important. In fact, we have discussed about variables. What do variables do? What do variables do? Come on, we have discussed about this in CSS. Can you guys hear me?
Data.
They store data, exactly. So in JavaScript, there are 3 ways to store data. Okay, there are 3 ways to declare variables. We have a keyword called let, and then we have a keyword called const, and then we have a keyword called var. Okay, so we're gonna do this with var first. And one thing you need to know is we don't have to use vars. Okay, we shouldn't use vars in fact, but I'm not going to tell you today. we're going to discuss about this tomorrow, inshallah. Okay, var, and then the name of your variables, like whatever you want to name it. So I'm going to say, let's say name, and then we have to give it a name. A name is a string or a number? String. So we should put quotations here, and I'm going to say Sarah. So basically this Sarah is stored in name. So what do you think would happen if I were to do this? Console.log, and then I'm gonna say quotations and then name. What would be the answer?
Name is gonna show.
Exactly, good. We're gonna see the name. Why is that? Which name, Sarah or name?
Because it's in the quotation.
Yeah, exactly. It's in the quotations. So anything you write in the quotations is gonna be outputted as it is. So what would happen now? I've written console.log name.
Now the name Sarah.
Exactly, good. So basically when we call the name variables, name is holding the Sarah. So basically it's gonna say Sarah. So we're gonna see Sarah. Okay, let's take another variable. So we're gonna do var and age. Let's say Sarah is maybe, let's say 21. So how do we output the age? So how do we output the age? Console.log, and should we say 21? Should we say 21? So what do we say?
You write age.
Good. We write age inside the quotations or without the quotations? Without, exactly, because age is a variable. Okay, and variables are called without the quotations. If you were to put them inside the quotations, this is gonna become a string. So it's gonna be as it is. It's gonna be written as it is. Okay, we don't want that. We want to have the age. So we have the age. Okay. Okay. Now let's take the variable with let keyword. So I'm gonna say let address. Okay. So I'm gonna say, wow, it says Baghdad. Why? Because we have a name Sarah. Okay. So let's say Sarah lives in UK. Okay. So what we're gonna say is console.log and then address. So what will be the output? So it's gonna say what?
It's gonna be UK.
Good. It's gonna be UK. Okay. But now we want to write all of these variables inside a single console log. So what should we do? This here is spoiling all of the fun. Okay. So what should we do? We want to write like no. How do we? And no. Quotations is, yeah. Yeah, I have to write them in what? Like I want to join strings and variables together. I want to join strings and variables. Backticks, good. So let's write myself. I'm going to say my name is, and then what is my name? My name is stored where? So Sarah is stored where? No, Sarah is stored where? Where is Sarah stored? Name. So name is what? A string or a variable? Is name a variable or a string?
It's a variable.
It's a variable. Good. So basically, how do we concat both string and variables? So how do we get variable here? Do we just write name?
Add it?
Just like that? Is it going to be? Yeah, we have to put $sign here. Why is that? Because name is a variable and this is a string. So what do you think the output would be? It's going to say my name is, and then the name. Okay, and I'm going to put comma here. This comma is going to be treated as a string. So I'm going to say I am, and I am how much old? What's my age? And it's stored in what? Age. So how do we write it? $sign and then curly brackets, age, and then outside of this I'm going to say years old. Okay, this years old is going to be treated as a string, whereas this age is treated as a variable. So it's going to say my name is Sarah, I am 21 years old. Okay, you can write it with var, you can write it with let, and we have another thing called const. We're going to discuss it inshallah tomorrow. But you shouldn't write, this isn't preferred using writing variables with var keyword. Okay, I'm going to tell you again tomorrow why is it not preferable. Okay, so what do you guys have to do is,
It's saying the class will end in under a minute.
yeah, our class is almost end. Okay, so I'm assigning you the homework. So basically what you have to do is, you have to take 10 variables. Okay, whatever you want. Okay, take variables whatever you want. Okay, and then you have to write myself, just like we used to do in like first or second grade. Okay,
Yeah.
take 10 variables and write a myself, and it should only involve only one console log, and this assignment is really important, you have to do it. Okay, and plus the Asha website, you have to complete that website as well before the next week's class.
I
Okay.
have a question,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
So 10 variables, like 10 pieces about ourselves, like our name.
Yeah, it can be anything. Oh. Assalamu alaikum. I'm really sorry. I think the class ended. So basically, I want to answer your question. So you can take around 10 variables, and they could be anything. It can be your name, age, address, or whatever. Like any 10 variables. So it can be anything. And you have to basically, using those variables, write a myself using those variables, and it should only be one console log, and inside the template things and all of that, just like we did just now. Okay.